You are now listening to The I, Walter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's I, Walter. Yes, it's I, Walter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. I, Walter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of I, Walter.
All right. Hey, this is Walter. I'm back again, actually. It's Sunday night. It is technically still the 10th, but I'm actually going to consider this show Monday the 11th because I'm actually doing another show. I didn't think I would have much to go on because I just did a show last night, but believe it or not, there's always tons of articles to pull up. I actually have one that was kind of heart-wrenching, so I want to mention that. But first, actually, the only reason I was going to do a show again was because I did finish out watching Ash vs. the Evil Dead by Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, and it was okay. The last couple episodes actually got a little bit better. I should have pulled it up, but I didn't. Just at least have a backdrop. Anyway, yeah, I think... Actually, at first, I was going to correct myself on one thing, because I thought that Bruce Campbell looked like he kind of aged a bit and got a little bit heavy, not realizing, because the two oldest, I think, actors and main characters were Lucy Lawless and Bruce Campbell. And I said to a friend on a voicemail, I said, well, Lucy Lawless actually looks really good. Like, she, I'm not even joking, she must really work out. I'm not even just saying that. Yeah, it looks like I'm looking right now. They're actually considering a second season. They set it up that way, too. That's what I guess disappointed one friend. I mean, it's not as strong as the movies were. I thought the movies were done a lot better. This is just trying to milk the franchise that, made them very successful, were these movies. The original one was called The Evil Dead. Second one was just called Evil Dead. Dead by Dawn, I think, and the third one was called Army of Darkness. The third one, that was the third one. The fourth one, then. Okay, I gotta stop right now. Okay, so let me give a pause for a minute because I got background going on. Okay, it stopped. Anyway, yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah. It's like a half-hour show. It's technically 21 minutes. Yeah, so I'll stop right now. Okay, folks, so I got to make a pause. I got background. Oh, it stopped again. Sorry. I think this is more of this passive aggressiveness. Anyway, yeah, I apologize about the background noise. Actually, this mic has been pretty good, knock on wood. Maybe you might not even hear it. But they are actually working for a second season. It actually said, I didn't realize this is on IMDb. The top-rated episodes were episode 8, 1, 8, and 10 were the top-rated shows of the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series from Starz. I thought the last two were interesting. Definitely the second to the last was really good. The last one, obviously, they kept it to make more. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Lucy Lawless looked incredible. I didn't realize she's like pretty much my age, me and a friend, Todd. She was born in 1968. I was born in 1967. My friend Todd was actually born in 1966. So, but we're all around the same age bracket. And, yeah, I thought she looked really good. And she obviously keeps herself in really good shape. She's close to like I am. I mentioned this before. She's pushing 50. but she looks really good. She keeps herself in good shape. Now, Bruce Campbell, obviously, because I actually had to go back and watch the original movie of the Evil Dead, and he was really young then. But he's pushing 60 right now. The first movie was actually released in 1981. I remember seeing the second one, though, in the movie theaters years ago when it first came out. I had no clue there was a movie before that. All I thought it was called Evil Dead. What was it called? Evil Dead 2, actually. But I thought it was called Dead by Dawn. I'm looking right now at the poster. No, it was actually, it was actually. It was called Evil Dead, Dead by Dawn. And basically what they did was they just recreated the original movie, added more humor to it, because the original one was definitely very dark. No humor, and actually the character who was the same in the second movie, Ash, it was the retelling of the exact same movie. The very end, they kind of insinuated he got killed off or possessed. So they kind of redid that whole film. Same exact character, though. Same story, but they changed a little bit here and there. And explained certain things they didn't in the original one that really didn't have to be. But yeah, for the most part, and I think the TV series kind of incorporated both the first and second film, from what I could gather, with little trinkets in the background. One of the things that was mentioned, if you watch the Evil Dead TV series, was they incorporated Freddy Krueger's glove in the background on the very last episode. He goes in the basement and Freddy Krueger's glove. It was just like a Easter egg or some type of an inside joke, because actually in the Evil Dead, they actually had the movie poster for The Hills Have Eyes. So there was something going back and forth between the two directors of which I can't remember. Let me look that up now. I think it was Wes Craven who did that, right? I just want to double check. Wes Craven did that. So yeah, it was like deliberately put in there, and they just kind of went back and forth, I guess, with Wes Craven, put little things in there, like little things you're supposed to look for. From what I heard, and from Sam Raimi, and then Sam Raimi did the same thing. But this was like his first film. Now, I noticed they mentioned in the background in the story that they were from Michigan, but it was actually shot in 3 other locations, which I didn't know because I looked that up. Let me see. It was like Tennessee. I don't know if they actually tell you online. But I think they actually did a cameo with one of the actresses from the original movie. It was definitely not from... it said crazy credits. The Evil Dead, The Ultimate Experience in Gruel and Horror was filmed in Morristown, Tennessee, and Detroit, USA. Yeah, it did say that. I did see that at the very end. I just couldn't remember. But they mentioned Michigan, though. Like the characters, apparently that was supposed to be Michigan. So I don't know. They recreated the house for the from frame by frame. Everything that was placed in there was actually put in the new TV series. Anyway, I will cut this off again because I'm getting distracted. So this is the 3rd time in a row in the last 10 minutes. I never usually definitely have that in the background. It's kind of interesting. I could do this 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll have somebody actually ask me questions while I do a radio show. So I don't know why. So I'm just going to continue because I don't want to, I had good train of thought. It just gets distracted over and over again for some stupid reason. I have no clue. Because nobody ever talks to me unless I'm doing something, and then they need to not only talk to me, but talk extremely loud to make sure I can hear them, and everybody else in the world can hear what they're saying as well. I always called it passive aggressiveness, but what else could you call it? Anyway, I noticed not only was he really young, Bruce Campbell, in the very first film, But I never, not this is like trivial stuff. But he actually had a unibrow in the first one, which obviously I don't think it showed up in later days. He actually had that waxed off, so to speak. Not that it's important. I just thought it was kind of entertaining. That obviously, you don't see it as distinctive in the TV series or the movies. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, but he had a very distinctive unibrow. I used to have one. I had it taken care of years ago. Basically, a unibrow means your eyebrow is just all one, and I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, they are talking about doing a second season now. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I guess I wasn't too interested. It's just it was kind of something different to watch. I personally, why I watch these, because a friend would just say, why are you wasting all this time watching? Just want to add a new story that came up. So, well, mainly it's because this is what I want to do. If I could do film, I prefer that over top of doing radio or podcasts. But podcasts just seem to be the most convenient thing for me to do right now. That's the only reason I do them. That's kind of why I do this. But I would just wanted to mention that, the movie actually, there's a lot to be learned because actually I thought it was, maybe it was, but I thought it was supposed to be like fresh out of college or actually a college shot film, but actually some of the scenes were outdoor scenes, but there was also a whole lot that Sam Raimi did, even outdoors, supposedly, that were actually filmed in studio. Like, for instance, I think it's when he buries his girlfriend, or actually when there's a rape scene in both the original one and the sequel, because it's a remake, where the one girl who is at this place actually gets raped by the woods. And even in the original one, the second one, it was actually more distinctive that it was actually all shot pretty much, from what I could see, it was shot pretty much all in studio, so to speak. Very little bit of outdoors, I guess because they focused more on the special effects. The original one actually was pretty much to look like amateur kind of, some of it, amateur kind of makeup and special effects on the cost, or we made them up to look like demons. But the one actually was the most hideous looking one was the one girlfriend in the original movie, that it was all purely, I think it was supposed to be Ash's girlfriend. That was all makeup. It wasn't heavy paste on the face or, basically prosthetics. It was more just dependent heavily on makeup, and it actually looked really scary to me. It actually did rather frighten me the most. Now, when I first saw that Evil Dead for the first time, which was after I saw the other films, it was like, oh wait, there's one before that. There really is. It wasn't just came out of thin air that they just decided to call a movie a sequel to something that never existed. No, so when I saw that for the first time, the original one that was originally done in 1981, it actually really frightened me. That I was petrified. In fact, I almost had nightmares from just watching him. So that's a good film. But like I said, there was obviously some stuff that was shot on a studio set, and I didn't pick up on it before because I was too busy being scared and closing my eyes. So I actually focused on watching the way the thing was set up. They used the same, pretty much the same scenery for the second one. Obviously, the third one. Well, not the third one. What am I saying? I should say the fourth one, which was technically a remake. But I mentioned to a friend, it's actually linearly, it is in continuation. The Evil Dead is the original one. Evil Dead 2 is a remake. Evil Dead 3 is a continuation from the second one. And Evil Dead 4, as I like to call it, which was just called Evil Dead, not The Evil Dead, was basically the person who had taken over, trying to do Sam Raimi's film again, did not make technically a actual remake, but just basically a continuation. Oh, sorry about that. I was looking for some paper towels. I can't find any. Got some smudge marks on my monitor. So yeah, that's the one thing that can take into consideration. The Evil Dead 4, as I like to call it, is actually a continuation. It is not a true remake, which I was kind of glad to see. They were basically going to hand over the torch to a new actress to take over Bruce Campbell, which I personally think they should have continued doing that, but they did not. Let me see if I can see her name. Not that I'll be able to pronounce it, but I can always try, can't I? Yeah, Jane Levy. She was, I guess that's how you say her last name. I was actually looking forward to her actually taking over as taking over Ash, to handing the torch over. I personally would like to see if they don't, which at this point I think it's a dead issue. I was hoping they would continue with her. At least put her in the TV show, because I think she was really good. I think they need to allow that to happen. So yeah, it would have been cool to see her do. Okay, yeah, I'm on the radio right now, but thank you very much. So, this is the fourth time. Okay, yeah, the asshole aggressiveness. Once again, fourth time tonight I got interrupted. So I apologize. I'm not going to redo a show just because a bunch of idiots see a door shut and I say I'm doing a radio show. It means that you should talk very loudly on frivolous things I really could give two shits about. So I apologize about that, folks. Yeah, this is the story of my life. Now you get to actually hear it. Anyway, yeah, Jane Levy would have been actually, I think they should have continued with her. My personal opinion, Bruce Campbell is great, but he is much older now, obviously. I mean, he did a good job, but he is pushing almost 60. He was probably in his early 20s when he first did the first one. He probably was even in his teens. So that was my main thing I had a problem with, is the fact that he actually did do, decided to pick up. I just think it was a money issue, personally, that they discontinued. Like, okay, hey, you know what? We want it because we want to cash in on this. And I'm sure it did really well. I think it did, actually, obviously, because it got a 9 scale rating on at least 3 of the episodes. I think 9 out of 10, according to IMDb. So that's pretty good. But, yeah, I personally would have preferred that they would have went with Jane, is it Levy or Levy, personally. But for some reason, they just did not. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing like some more stories. I'm just going to add those to my mix. So forgive me. And again, I got interrupted like 4 times tonight. Normally, it's like 1 time and people listen. And actually, a friend from work that I used to work with, he's actually finding some really good stories, really, really good ones. So that's actually making it harder for me to focus as well, besides just getting interrupted over and over and over again. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, there's going to be some more stories. These were just like actually highlights I just saw. It all started because they said something about something with Spider-Man, I guess, and the new X-Men movie. Or was it X-Men? Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, it's just, wow, I just keep on popping up stories here and there. Yeah, the stories just seem to grow tonight. Normally they don't. Yeah, actually, I'll look at it now so I can correct myself. It was on comicmovie.com. Does this hoodie reveal Spider-Man's costume in the Captain America Civil War? So is that X-Men? I'm not even sure. You may have heard that basically something about Spider-Man merchandise for Captain America Civil War. It now appears as the hoodie depicting the MCU's take on Spidey's costume is leaked early and equal part in the Amazing Spider-Man Spectacular. As you probably know, Mersoid has a listing for a Captain America Civil War Spider-Man hoodie, which comes with this description starting, okay, so here's the deal. We have a photo of the Spider-Man hoodie coming very soon. So apparently, I guess in this new Captain America movie, they might incorporate Spider-Man, is what I'm gathering. I don't know. But I saw that. It's caught my attention. The title of it actually was, does this hoodie reveal Spider-Man's costume in Captain America Civil War? So, yeah, for some reason, they are incorporating, finally, Spider-Man. I guess they came to an agreement. Okay. A friend just sent me another article. It's just like nonstop tonight with articles. So I don't even know where to begin. I actually did not expect this many breaking news stories. So I'll just try to take them, and hopefully I won't get interrupted anymore tonight. I got interrupted already 3 times, and that just really pisses me off. So, hey, this was on Business Standard News. Ann Coulter diagnosed with testicle cancer. Yeah, that's what it says. I don't know when this was dated. Basically, it says BS News. Okay, maybe it's just a joke. I don't know. Has received reports that the firebranded conservative commentator Ann Coulter was seen in Los Angeles based on colonoscopy. When you get a colonoscopy. This confirms rumors that she indeed suffered from testicle cancer. Well, she's a woman, though. Isn't testicles? I think it is like bullshit news. Coulter, who has never been married and has no children, has long faced rumors that she was born a man, and the latest report confirms this. I think it's just people ripping on Ann Coulter. She's actually a very attractive woman, too, by the way. There was another one on iHeart. These were like ones I just actually finally just pulled up and kind of weird looking. The gruesome tale of Joe Metheny and his human burger stand. Meet Joe Metheny, also known as the Cannibal Killer. We in America, are well aware of the numerous serial killers that have made the names infamous by sick and twisted crimes. But Ed Gwynn, John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez. But you have you ever heard of this demented fuck? Is what it says. Well, it's back for the love of Lemmy. Do not partake in grubbage whisk skimming through this history. So, I never actually heard of him. Joe Metheny sentenced to death, but his ruling was overturned in 2000 and was ultimately kicked down to life without parole. So this man was basically known for making basically a hamburger out of human flesh or whatever. That was on iHeart. So it was an article that just like came up for some reason. So it's a little bit here and there. I can mess up more than I'd like to. And this was a story, actually, Matt Harthman, he actually found this. He found a couple articles. I just had to steal them from him on the Patch News. A stabbing report in downtown Lansdale. And this is actually a person stabbed it is actually technically Sunday still, but this is my Monday show. Sunday near a Main and Broad Street, 6 ABC News reported. It says Lansdale, PA stabbing was reported Sunday afternoon near Broad and Main Street in Lansdale. Again, and was reported by 6 ABC News. The stabbing reportedly happened around 1 p.m., and the person was airlifted following the accident by the news. The condition of the victim has not been released. An incident is under investigation. So, it's been said before that Lansdale has actually become a very dangerous place, and that is actually true. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to get through because there's a lot of different stories now actually coming up. So Todd's just commenting on my stories now, so I thought he might have actually gave me some more. I appreciate if he did because I already got way too many stories to go with. Especially this one he had sent just as I started my show and got interrupted a million times. This was actually posted December 30th. I don't know where he found this. Texas. An infamous booty tickler who has breaking into homes in Dallas is tickling people's buttholes while they're sleeping and has finally been captured. This was back in December 30th. Man arrested after breaking into homes and, again, tickling buttholes. The so-called booty tickler hit several homes and targeted at least a dozen people before arrested. His best cover is the element of surprise. People believe he was a harmless homeless man, but after being captured, it was discovered he wasn't homeless, but he was wearing Yazoo brand clothing. It's YEZZUS branded clothing that is estimated to be worth around $4,500. So, and this man kind of could pass for a homeless man, but he's wearing clothes that are worth almost $5,000. $4,500. His best cover is the element of surprise where he believes, I already read that. So all of the break-ins happened overnight where people were so scared they started sleeping on their backs. We spoke to Richard Nays, who lives near the three of the booty ticklers' victims' homes, and told us, fam, I sleep on my back every day. I can finally sleep on my stomach again. I don't know where he found this story. It is definitely interesting. That was one Todd just found. Yeah, so I thought that was. I mean, my main subject of interest tonight was on the Sam Raimi thing, and you know what? There's always things to learn. Once again, I'd like to get back into doing some type of short video film, whatever you want to call it. But I haven't done so yet. So, yeah, so that's my goal eventually. I just, look how difficult it is for me just to even do a TV show because, because it's just, it's so difficult just to do this. It would be more impossible just to do a radio show. It's a movie because it's hard enough to do a radio show. Hey, you know what? It's funny. If you want to read some interesting stories, there's a lot on Daily Mail. One that actually has caught my attention right away, just because of the picture, is Pamela Anderson shows off strapping son Brandon Lee at Sean Penn's gala, and she's still got really nice set of breast. Yeah, she's really showing those things off. So she still looks really hot for her age, because she's not, the youthful person who did Baywatch, but she's still got a definitely incredible body, and she still looks really young. But that was one on. It's all on the Daily Mail on Facebook. I just lost it, I think. There's ones that says new prayer room at Perth Stadium could stop Muslim radicalism. Perth's new stadium will feature 3 prayer rooms with washing facilities, a shoe rack, and bookshelf. And this is Daily Mail Australia, so they just don't give up on these, basically caving into these radical Muslims and stuff. They give them everything they want. There's another one that says mother reveals how she escaped ISIS nightmare. This is all in the Daily Mail, by the way. Mother was willingly went to Syria with her son. 4 describes basically a nightmare. She told her husband that she was going to look for orphans in Istanbul, and was in for a rude awakening, I guess, obviously. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about these. I just thought it was interesting. There's one, actually, it says how not to kill bugs. Man sets himself on fire after spraying rubbing alcohol to kill bed bugs. The blaze ruined 4 apartments and water damage affected 2 dozen others. So these were all, yes, on wild stories on the Daily UK Mail, to say the least. So there's tons of other ones. I just thought those were the most entertaining that got my attention at first. There was actually one. It says it was actors, was all set up of a black man and this white woman, and it says man punches his pregnant girlfriend in stomach for social experiment. But actually, they were actors. It was, by the sounds of both the guy and the woman, they're from England. They got those strong Cockney accents, but yeah, it was all staged. And I guess the experiment, how it turned out was either people paid attention to it and stepped in, and most people actually, from what I gather, did not bother to do anything, as this man was play acting, but he was pretending to attack his fictional 9-month pregnant girlfriend, who she was, and it was like a pillow underneath. There's another story a friend had sent me, Todd. This was actually on a Daily Mail. There's a lot of Daily Mail stuff. Woman 18 raped by 5 men in Brooklyn playground after one pulled a gun on her father and told him to get the fuck out of here, as questions are raised over NYPD's slow response. So yeah. So this girl was with her father and held at gunpoint, and her father, who was with her, was told to get lost, as these 5 men raped his daughter. Victim was inside Osborne Park in Brownsville at 9 p.m. on Thursday. These are the bullet points, by the way. 5 men accosted her and her father and told him to leave the area. The father ran from the area and called 911 before returning with officers. Police are appealing for it says police are appealing for help in tracking the attackers who fled the scene. The retired police captain blasted the NYPD for slow response time, and it says Eric Adams said it baffles all my police experience, and all my police experience, something is missing. So, I mean, this is actually a really scary story to actually read. I have actually one that's worse. Well, this is really bad. I can't say there's one worse than this. But anyway, it says, according to New York Daily News, he pointed it at the victim's father and told him to get the fuck out of here. That's what it says. I'm actually reading it all the way out. The father complied, and each of the 5 men then raped the victim. The NYPD said the woman's father called 911 and returned with 2 uniformed police officers a short time later, but the suspects had fled the scene. After the attack, the victim was taken to Kings County Hospital, where she was treated and released. Today, the police department has come under fire and asked to investigate why police were so slow to respond to the incident. At the press conference on Sunday, Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams and a retired police captain said the time between reports and police responses is baffling. They've had enough time to do something to leave that. Let me reread it. It says they had enough time to do and leave the scene with, based or questioning it. He said that the substantial amount of time, he added, we need to listen to 911 calls and that we need to find out. It baffles the police experience sometimes is missing. According to the Daily News, Adams and the city councilwoman Darian Melee are offering $2,000 for any information leading to this arrest of these 5 men. Meanwhile, angry neighbors also blasted the police for not patrolling the area, which they say has no working lamppost and pitch black at night. So, this was interesting. This was in New York, obviously. It goes on to say How can police wonder how stuff like this happens when they when it gets dark and there's no when they're not here? One of the women told the Daily Mail, Daily News. I apologize. It's on the Daily Mail, but it's actually from the Daily News. A lot of this part of these articles. The assailants remain on the loose, and the NYPD is urging the public to help identify the suspects. Police released the footage of 5 entering a Bulgaria before the horrific attack. I won't say anything, but they do have surveillance tapes on these 5 guys who actually, no puns intended, had raped an 18-year-old girl. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers, and it gives a number at 800-577-TIPS. People can also submit information on basically NYPDcrimestoppers.com or just text it at 274-637-CRIMES and then enter TIP 577. All calls are strictly confidential. So, it's disturbing to read a lot of this stuff. Okay, hey, this was something on a less crucial note, but it said from BloodyDisgusting.com, rest in peace, Agnes Scrim, the tall man. He dies at 89. He was actually the guy who played in those movies of Phantasm, is it Phantasm? Well, it's the horror ones. It's not the Disney one, because I think it's Fantasia's the one from Disney, and Phantasm is the horror movie. He just passed away. So it actually says in this article, believe it or not, J.J. Abrams is hard on working of creating a 4K restoration of the original Phantasm. Well, good luck on that. I guess you can do a lot with film. I'm not sure if you can actually restore it to a 4K level. That would be pretty neat if they can. That's ultimate, ultra high definition. So another one from Bloody Disgusting real quick was it's titled "There's an Avalanche on Demons in the New Doom," which is actually supposed to, I believe, come out not until December of this year. Something like that. I can't remember now because it really doesn't say, but they're basically saying they're showing tons of screenshots of the new Doom video game, which it's a reboot from the other ones. So I actually pre-ordered this like last year at one point in time, and I think I had to reset it from the Xbox to the PlayStation because they're not making it for the computers. Well, they are making it for the computer or the PC, but not for the Mac. So, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't play many games. This was pretty funny. It's actually BloodyDisgusting.com again. This Five Nights at Sesame Street trailer will change you. I thought it's a farce. It's not a real movie as far as I know. Sorry, I just bumped my mic now. But I actually thought it was pretty entertaining, to say the least. Five Nights at Sesame Street trailer is much more than just another clever parody of Scott Cawthon's phenomenal popular Five Nights at Freddy's series of indie horror games. This is a parody. This is the parody. There are many like it, but this one is currently the best. It is actually pretty funny. By the sounds of the people who are acting in this fake trailer for a movie, they sound like they're all Australian. It is actually, again, it's kind of, it's actually really entertaining. What am I saying? It's not just a little bit. I thought it was pretty funny. Sorry, I saw another article, but I'm not going to really read this. Not much to it, so I'm just going to cut this one loose because I got enough on my plate, and who knows when somebody's actually going to come in and start talking really loudly when you try to do a radio show. This is the one actually I wanted to read. A friend sent this to me today. I forget. I think it might have been my friend Todd. And it was from TribLive.com, I think. Yeah, it says TribLiveNews.com. Immigration officials arrest 175 sexual predators in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and West Virginia. And this was on Thursday. This actually was posted. He found this somewhere. And this one's kind of short and sassy, but it's really important for people to hear this. Immigration officials arrested and began deportation proceedings on 175 sexual predators in Pennsylvania, Delaware, and West Virginia last year. Last year, including 14 arrests in Pittsburgh area. Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced on Thursday. It's going to get really good because I'm always making this statement about having sex with minors and stuff, and I also talk about most of this stuff are from, as Trump had mentioned, that the people doing these violent crimes and these sex acts are generally from illegal immigrants and probably from these migrants as well. So here we go. Within nearly 200 sexual predators, predatorial aliens out of our communities, our children are more protected and more and our society is safer, so to speak, said Tom Decker, director of the Enforcement and Removal of Operations for the Philadelphia-based ICE office serving the 3-state region. It basically says the Pittsburgh arrested includes a 28-year-old Haitian convicted of involuntary sexual intercourse with a person younger than 13. So one of them was a 28-year-old Haitian who had sexual intercourse with somebody below the age of 13 years old and raping a person less than 13 years old, said agency spokeswoman Sarah Maxwell. Another case involves a 46-year-old Mexican national who re-entered the country illegally and was substantially convicted of fourth-degree sexual assault and false imprisonment, she said. Now, they're trying to say that, it's a much safer place. But do you think out of these 200 sexual predators they have gotten that were legal in this country, that's going to be the end of it? No, that's only not even scratching the surface. I am sorry, but people need to realize this. But yet, their whole thing is to attack the conservative party, attack the Republicans, these leftist wackos, and just basically place the blame on the people who won't defend themselves, like myself, and make us out to be the real issue. What the real issue is being overlooked again and again and again and again. So anyway, on a lighter note, this was on actually a different website with comic books. It was comicbookresources.com. I actually found this myself tonight. Kevin Smith will direct an episode of The Flash this season. Film and comic creator Kevin Smith has been tapped to direct an upcoming episode of The Flash, the highly regarded DC Comics superhero series of the CW. The announcement came during this weekend's Television Critics Associated Press tour. Smith, who love of comic Prometheus. I can't pronounce that word. So, yeah, I'll get breamed. His filmography, and also showcased on his AMC program, Comic Book Men, has produced television for the CW before directing the 2007 pilot of the series Reaper, which was actually really good. No plot, the idea for the plot or exact air date was not made available, basically. But according to the deadline, expected to be seen in May, The Flash returns from the mid-season's break on Tuesday, January 17th. I actually haven't watched the second season. I honestly got to finish the first season of when I feel like doing it. I'm not going to even say when I have a chance because I haven't worked, so I have all the time in the world. It's just a matter of when I want to get around to doing it, because actually it was a really good series, The Flash. And that being said, comicbookmovie.com, decision on crossover between Supergirl and The Flash will be made in the next month. It sounds like the decision about the crossover between Supergirl and The Flash will be made within the next 4 weeks, as both producer Greg Berlanti and CW boss Mark Pederitz has provided a very positive update on the chances of this becoming a reality. Check it out. So there's a little story about that. I do actually keep on top of Supergirl more so than other ones because it just gets really expensive, and I really love Supergirl so far. It's been a really good show, so I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Matt, my friend Matt Hartman actually found this and was on Politics on Fox News. So obviously he thinks pretty much more like us. I think more people are. So Matt Hartman, thank you for this article that you posted. I stole it from you. Pennsylvania officials roll out drug tests for welfare recipients. You know what, though? The only thing is this was published years ago, so I don't know where he found this. He actually just posted it. Pennsylvania officials are wading into the controversial territory of drug testing and welfare recipients. Testing out the new program, Republicans say, is meant to prevent beneficiaries from getting a free ride, quote unquote, after the federal judge blocked a much broader drug test rule in Florida. Pennsylvania is taking a more careful approach. Instead of mandating drug tests for all welfare recipients, Pennsylvania plans to randomly test only those with felony drug convictions within the past 5 years and those on probation for such offenses. Now, again, this was actually dated back in 2012, 3 years ago. No, it's like 4 years ago. I don't know where he found this. I mean, I think things have probably changed. They probably even weakened this. Officials are taking it slow. A pilot program has started in Pennsylvania's Schuylkill County, which will pave the way for a statewide program this summer if it's proven to be cost effective. Now, again, this is like an old story, so I don't know what's going on now. State Senator David Argel said that in the statement last month that the program is overdue as officials try to cut costs in the state's most expensive division of the Department of Public Welfare. It's quote unquote, this initiative seeks to stop the abuse within our welfare system. He said, adding the government benefits should only go to those who generally deserve the state assistance. I really think that's spread out much thinner now. Proponents have argued that it's not unreasonable for the government to require drug tests in exchange for payment, just as some employees do. But the proposals in Pennsylvania and across the country have come under challenge. A federal judge in Florida temporarily blocked a bill backed by Republican Governor Rick Scott last year, saying that the law could represent an invasion of privacy and questioning whether it complies with the Fourth Amendment barring unreasonable searches. Scott's admiration appealed the decision. Now, see, here you go. It's all right to invade a person's privacy on their own home, but it's not okay to invade a privacy if these people have prior records of felony or, drug abuse. That makes no sense to me. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, at the least 3 dozen states propose bills permitting to drug tests for welfare and food stamp recipients. Arizona and Missouri have joined Florida in passing drug test bills through theirs were more narrowly tailored. As Pennsylvania test its approach, other states are moving forward. It basically says that Indiana's House recently approved the drug test bill for welfare recipients, as did a Virginia House committee. Opponents claim that the proposals are unfair and not cost-effective. That's bullshit. A February 3rd brief by the Center of Law and Social Policies, a low-income adversary nonprofit, cited a 1996 study that found that the proportion of welfare recipients with the substance abuse problem is consistent with the proportion of non-welfare recipients with the same. They're just trying to find excuses. That's the bottom line. The group said that the tests cost between $35 and $76 each. to administrator and described as an ineffective use of taxpayers' money. So, okay, they're saying this is ineffective, but yet it's okay to give out millions of, close to millions of dollars for these, these migrants to settle in our country. That's actually not a waste of money, but $35 to $76 per person is like going to break the bank. Are you serious? Since a few substance abusers are identified in tests, but many are tested, the cost of catching a drug abuser may run between $20,000 to $77,000 per person, the group claimed. But you know what? They're spending that same amount of money on these migrants. I'd rather spend it on possibly saving money on these drug abusers. I think it's just ridiculous. The cost-benefit aspect is one of Pennsylvania officials will examine in the pilot program. The Pennsylvania program stems from a bill passed last year. Well, again, this was a couple years ago, so I didn't realize this until I read it and also seen the date that was actually February 4th of 2012. So again, that's like 4 years old. I preferably think they should pass it, but they probably won't. This was kind of interesting going back to the Daily Mail. Peter Hitchens, only strong borders and pride in our civilization can save us. From the Daily Mail. Not going to read the whole entire thing. I'm just going to kind of glance at least the first paragraph. There is no bullet points. Every educated, intelligent person glories in the freedom of women in the Western societies to exercise their talents to the full and their freedom to walk safely in the streets of our great cities. Now, that's kind of tongue-in-cheek. And who kind of believes in this are the left wing. And now they're kind of wising up. Even these political left-wing political papers, some of them actually, I think, are wising up. So what is the enlightened minds of the left to do with the news comes of revolting assaults on women in the front of, I always get this wrong, Cologne Cathedral, one of the jewels of European Christian culture in one of Germany's proudest cities? And how are we to react when the growing evidence suggests that at least some of these culprits are newly arrived migrants from the Muslim world? With the mumbled embarrassment and the nasty jibs against those who have long opposed uncontrolled mass migration, that's how. So it goes on basically to say that, yeah, they need to do something, obviously, claiming that these migrants are victims and they aren't the cause of these crimes has obviously been proven severely wrong. I just mentioned yesterday that if we decide stupidly to hire Hillary, well, basically you are, but to elect Hillary Clinton as our new president of the United States, whatever happened in Germany just a few weeks ago is going to be much, much worse in our country by, a large amount. I mean, you're talking, I thought that the figures I gave was like 70, no, sorry about that. I thought it was like 20 million more cases. It wouldn't even like scratch the surface of what happened in Germany. So, that being said, I mean, some people are wise enough. Unfortunately, though, I think the correct ones probably still are not, because the people who are actually have the power of the vote, I think when it comes down to it, I hate to say this, and I hope I'm totally wrong, when it's finally all said and done, these same naive, mindless people will vote for Hillary over top of, unfortunately, of Trump. And they're going to think they are doing the right thing. But all you're really doing is you're just opening up Pandora's box. You really are. There is no other way of putting it. Anyway, on a lighter note, hopefully it will be my last story. I'm going to do a last check anyway. It was on comicbookmovie.com. Yet another story. Zack Snyder's teases seeing Justice League assembled, new Suicide Squad still released. Hit the jump and check out an awesome new Suicide Squad image and an interview with Ben Affleck, who talks about his cameo in the movie, as well as new quotes from Batman vs. Superman, directed by Zack Snyder, who talks exclusively about the DC Extended Universe. So there you go. You can find that article. It was just posted tonight with a new picture of the Suicide Squad. I think they might even bump up the date of that movie, is my guess at this point. I wouldn't doubt it. They already kind of, I think, moved up this time when they were supposed to release Batman versus Superman, so it's just a matter of them doing that probably also with, my guess, with, sorry about that, with this Suicide Squad movie, which actually I really don't mind. So, anyhow, yeah, I really don't have much more to talk about. So, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed what I did discuss tonight. And, sorry about the interruptions, folks. But, hey, maybe I'll just make my show that much more entertaining. So, again, I'm signing off actually early because I want to get this done. Hope you enjoyed my show. We had rain last night and all today. Got dark out around 5 p.m. in Pennsylvania, my neck of the woods. I actually did not step out of the house besides to get something to eat. So again, thank you for listening, and just cut this short tonight. Should be the shortest show I'll have done in a long time, including with the interruptions. Thanks again.